Well, being in Atlanta all this time and then going to Nashville, where it's predominantly white. One, they go home at 5 and 6 o'clock when they're producing because they go home to their families. Being a country singer, if you are a singer in country music, you're a man. If you are not married, it is not respected. Family is respected in country music in that space. But in our space, we are singing about side chicks. We are glorifying a lot of women. That's not what happens in Nashville. You can't call a woman a bitch, a hoe in Nashville, because they'll never even listen to your music and your professional career will suffer. At what point in the Black community do our men create real homes?
At the point that Black women stop filing for divorce 80% of the time. At the point that Black women stop using kids against men in child custody. At that point, and only at that point, will Black men start doing exactly what you're asking for.
And even talking, just our first time talking, and you said you didn't even mean for that to happen. Life happens. I'm not here to judge life. I'm looking at a successful Black man that has the ability to literally turn the narrative on Black family, you know? Mm-hmm. And my grandfather, I watched my uncles and everything. My whole family, they're married. I'm not the girl who didn't see what a man creating a Black family is supposed to be. So I'm asking right now, Black men, I got to my Black men to really step up for Black women and create families. Yeah. It's really not cool. Black men are attacking Black women. And it's not a cool, they're not creating homes. They're creating babies everywhere. It's not cool. And I'm asking you, other successful Black men, you have to set an example as leads. The cute social media back and forth on Black women. Black women are strong. Black women are where you come from, this and that. So there probably isn't any sympathy for you and just life happening because there's so many other things around you going on that are not fair to Black women. What is going on with the Black family?
You know what's going on? Because women like you only consider a good man when he's as successful as Cam Newton. If a man is not a millionaire, if a Black man is not a millionaire, to you, he's not a good man. Even when you're faking all these tears, crying, oh, Black men, please marry us, did you hear the words she used? She said successful Black men. And we have seen this over and over time. They don't want the average man, the plumber, the electrician, the bus driver. They don't want those kinds of Black men. They only plead and beg and complain when successful millionaires, the athletes, don't marry them. And they are okay with even making babies with them. And now, who can show me a video of a 25-year-old Mitchelle crying and begging for marriage? No, she was living her best life. But now when she's 40, now she's crying and begging successful Black men to marry her. Like, this is the double standards that I don't like. So she's blaming Black men for the breaking up of the Black family when she knows, and we know, 80% of divorces are filed by Black women. So who really breaks up the Black family? And like I said, she's only crying and begging a successful millionaire like Cam Newton. If you told her if she would ever cry and beg a plumber, a Black man who's an electrician, she would say, no, he's not a good man. He's broken, dusty. He can't afford me.
We are consistently creating the cycle of kids who can't come home and see their daddy there. And they see their mama sad at night.
Yeah, because mama kicked the man out of the house so she can get child support.
At what point is the successful black man in this world going to step in and really create structure? I see white men doing it every day. I get to witness the best of both worlds every day. Getting on stage singing R&B, being here in Atlanta, I get to sing R&B, but then I get to go to Nashville and be like, you mean you ain't staying out till 6 in the morning? You gonna go home to your family? You gonna write this song and leave at 5 and 6 because you gonna take care of your family and your wife? At what point? At what point do the successful black men build black families? We ain't gonna ever have a black family if y'all don't do it.
See, again, she keeps saying successful black men. And like I said, we have seen so many times these women say, if he doesn't make 6 figures, even if he's a good man, even if he respects me, even if, he buys me flowers, if he doesn't take me to a $500 dinner date, he's not a good man. She is specifically saying successful black men, and we know to them success is a man willing to spend money on them. So they overlook the majority of good black men with stable incomes, but because they don't make crazy amounts of money, millionaires like Cam Newton right here, they don't cry and beg. When she was 25, she wasn't crying and begging. When she was 30, she wasn't crying and begging. I've never seen her beg and cry for a bus driver. I've never seen her cry and beg for the guy who carries trash. I've never seen her beg and cry for a guy who's a teacher. They only cry and beg, these successful black men.
We're never going to have it. It's just not going to happen. So if your mentality is, yes, things happen, and I'm not knocking you for that. I didn't come here for that. But at what point do you take that black woman? Do you be in a home and show your kids what it's like, At what point do you take a grip to it, not make excuses for it or mantras and things like that? It is so unfair to black women who have been the strength and builders of so many things.
But black women scream they're strong and independent, don't need no man. And now you're asking a man to marry you at the same time after you saying you don't need him? Like, this doesn't make any sense. This confuses men. At one point you're saying you're strong, independent, don't need me for nothing. You're strong, you can do whatever, you make your own money, you don't need a man, and then you're crying and begging at the same time. This is gaslighting at the highest order. This is a double standard if I've ever seen one. And like I said, she's only crying all these fake tears because she knows the cameras are rolling, and only crying because she's sitting across a millionaire. If she wouldn't cry across me, she would call me broke and dusty. But because Cam Newton has a couple millions in the bank, not even just couple, several millions, she can cry and beg. Cam Newton has like several kids with several women. But that's because they know he has the money. They don't mind making babies with him, woman after woman. But for the average guy, they don't want to do that. They would rather cry in a Rolls Royce. They've said this. They would rather cry in a Rolls Royce than in a Toyota Camry with a broke guy.
And I know life happens. You can't be with somebody you don't want to be with or whatever. But my grandparents did it. My grandfather, 92, died when he was 92, my best friend. I never seen another type of man. That's why I've turned down 3 rings.
There it is. Now she's boasting for turning down good men. How can you cry that black men are not marrying you, but you, 3 black men have asked to marry you and you said no? And now she's busting. Do you see how crazy this bullshit is? She's crying, successful black men, please marry us. And then she's talking about, she's bragging. You see how she was crying and now the smile is coming out when she's bragging that she turned down 3 men for marriage? Oh my god, this is gaslighting. This is the corniest chameleon BS I've ever seen. This is like a movie. She's pretending like, oh my god.
Because they wasn't like my grandpa.
See?
My grandfather raised 9 kids on his own because my grandmama died before I could even meet her. What point are our black men going to stop the bullshit, the social media shit, and all of that,
Women
and
do
build
that.
black homes? If we don't build black homes, we can't depend on white folk to build black homes. So when you see somebody like your significant other who clearly loves you, and it's all these black women rooting for her, rooting for you. They want you to build a black home.
Cam
That's
Newton
their
knows it's
anger.
bullshit.
They don't know you. They can't judge you for anything else. They want you being who you are, being attractive, being successful.
Successful. Here we go
They
again.
want you to take hold and solidify and build a black home. That's not saying you're not taking care of the kids you have, because clearly you are, and you love your kids. Taking care of your kids and building a home is 2 different things. At what point are we going to stop these back and forths? Oh, this type of woman don't say nothing to me about that. Well, guess what? You're just weak.
See, there you go. Weak, dusty, broke, sassy, gay. What other words do they use to describe black men who have standards? Not a real man, hates women, toxic, controlling. Like the gaslighting is crazy. And I honestly believe Cam Newton knows she's just doing it for the show. Because at 43 years old, no one can convince me this woman has never met good men who would really want to. She just said she met 3 good men and she didn't want to marry them because they're not like her grandfather, like as if she's like her grandma. She's pretending like as if women these days just want to get married and they don't want to live the strong independent life. Don't need no man. I can do whatever I want. Single life, have babies and go on vacations, things like that.
Like, you want a strong woman around you. And I'm sorry, like, black women have just, that we get copied from hair to body to everything. Black women are the most unloved individuals in America, but the ones who have built.
The most mimicked.
Most mimic. Good or bad mimic, you know? But we looking to you. We looking to you. A successful black man, we are looking to you to change the narrative. And when you don't, it becomes, go on that show and tear his ass up.
Mm-hmm. I received that. And
I mean, I don't even need to listen to Cam Newton because this was some bullshit. Obviously he put up with it because he's doing an interview, but any man with even, I mean, grade D level can see that she's just saying bullshit. And they play all this victim mentality and victim play card every time. They scream they're independent, they don't need no man, and then on the other hand, they're crying and begging the successful rich men to marry them. But it's like, how is a man supposed to marry a woman who's screaming strong, independent, don't need no man? You know, how is a man supposed to get into a marriage when he knows 80% chance she's going to file for divorce and take his kids and take his house and put him on child support? She would rather get the child support of $10,000 a month rather than be in a marriage and feel controlled and feel like a slave. This was some bullshit. So the moment I saw the video, I had to go through it. What do you guys think about that?